The first time I went to Saudi Arabia for Hajj or Umrah was in the late 1990s. And it was special because back then we used to go down to the well of Zamzam after we made tawaf. Now people make tawaf and you will pray to rak'ah behind the Maqam Ibrahim, and you go to the water of Zamzam, which is very much the containers that they have now in the Masjid al-Haram. Back then you had to go down under around the Kaaba, and you go down to see really the well of Zamzam, and it was very special. I think what Saudi Arabia did is reasonable. There is the capacity of the number of people being able to make tawaf, but also I really miss this. I really miss this part when we used to go down and make wudu and look to it, and it was very nice. And made Hajj, I remember while it was chilly, and the most of the questions raised back then was, can we have a blanket over our ihram or not? And the Hajj moved it to become in the middle of the summer, and it's very hot, and different kind of questions can be raised due to the weather. Hajj is one of the 5 pillars of Islam. The one supposed to make Hajj is someone basically financially able to travel to Mecca. So you have to have enough money. You have to be able to travel, because sometimes people might have money, but because of the visa requirement and all of this, they might end up lacking the ability to travel. So الرسول قال لمن استطاع إليه سبيلا. لمن استطاع إليه سبيلا, for those who are able physically, financially, and now with the visa process being able to obtain a visa to make Hajj. Then the questions will come. Do I have to make Hajj as soon as I am able, or can I delay it a little bit, which is a point of discussion between al-fuqaha. And it seems like if you delay it a few years, you can be still within practicing a very fine opinion. You can. And decided what the Rasul did. The Rasul did not make Hajj immediately when the Hajj became mandatory. Sayyidina Abu Bakr actually made the first Hajj. Sayyidina Rasul made Hajj 1 year after. So people can delay it a little bit, yes. When you look to Kutub al-Fiqh, the books of fiqh, the jurists, all of them will say to you, you know what, one of the qualifications is to be able financially. And obviously, if someone is having a debt, if you owe someone money, means you are not qualified financially. But with the current economical system, we started to deal in the last few decades with a new phenomenon, which is a wealthy individual taking a loan of $1 million to buy a house, or $500,000. So someone with a very good income and having saving account can owe an Islamic finance institutions a good amount of money, and by design he or she is supposed to pay this over 30 years or 15 years or 20 years, whatever the length of the loan. And it seems like the entire financial system being built like, so it's good for your tax, and it's good for this, and it's good for that. And this is why I feel like we have to differentiate between two kinds of debt. A personal one, if I were to borrow $10,000 from you, and I shouldn't go to make Hajj before paying you off. Unless you give me a permission saying what, I don't mind, go ahead and make your Hajj and pay me whenever you can. I still advise this individual to pay the debt, the personal debt, because the Hajj is not required for him or her. But when it comes to the mortgage, a kind of debt I refer to as an organized or institutional debt, I believe that people can make Hajj while they are making their payment, because it's an organized debt. While you are supposed to pay $3,000 every month for 30 years or so, and many people have this ability, and then they have saving account and they have retirement and this and that. So being able to differentiate between a personal loan and an organized loan, what we refer to as a mortgage today, should be helpful. It's natural for parents to be worried about their kids and about their future. However, we should not allow something might happen in the future to affect our current affairs. So ideally speaking, yes, I want to have fund for my daughter's marriage. I want to be sure that if I can have some saving for my kids' college. All of this is wonderful, but it should be in the way. Because keep in mind, yes, Hajj is still expensive, but doesn't even come close to a college tuition, does not come close to a marriage expenses. The marriage and college, they are in a different category. So I would advise people not to allow concern about their kids' future to be in the way. Think reasonably toward their future, but also try to make Hajj while you are young. I saw young people making Hajj, and I saw senior and older brothers and sisters making Hajj. The younger one can go full speed regardless of the weathers. I assume that they can enjoy it more. They are not expecting any assistance from anyone. We appreciate our elder trying to make Hajj, may Allah bless them, but they go through so much hardship. So if you can make Hajj while you are young, I would advise you to do it. There is things related to your physical ability, things related to your understanding. You can refer to your intellect and your spiritual well-being. I advise people start to walking maybe 5 minutes a day today, if you are not into walking, and add 5 minutes next week, and add another 5 minutes until you will be able to walk 1 hour comfortably. This is then you become fit physically, and I would advise you to do whatever you can to increase your immunity, and all of this will prepare you to be in a good shape physically. Then I want people to understand the history of Masjid al-Haram, Masjid al-Nabawi. Read a lot about Masjid Quba, about al-Tawaf, about al-Sa'i, about Mina and Arafah and the Muzdalifah. So I have this kind of information will prepare you really to enjoy, which is the spiritual peace, to enjoy your Hajj. Because you don't want to go for Hajj after going through a very intense process today with nusuk and all of that, and you end up worry all of the time. I am worried about getting accepted or not. Then I'm worried about being arriving on time or not. You go to Medina and I am worried about Mecca. Go to Mecca and I'm worried about Arafah. I always say in Al-Hajj, don't be worried about anything that might happen tomorrow. Enjoy today. So I feel like preparing yourself in terms of understanding is essential. Then if you are in the mood of making zikr and dua, then you are fine. But if you are away from this, I would advise to start making like 5-10 minutes a day, making istighfar and dua. As a homework, read the ayat al-Hajj, the verses for al-Hajj in the Quran al-Kareem, and go through this ayat and enjoy them, and read about Anbiya making Hajj, and all of this will prepare you spiritually. Then you go to Hajj and you really get the best out of it, because some people go to Hajj and return without much of achievement. And so when people prepare themselves, Al-Hajj has the ability to transform them completely. They become a different human being. Let me say, Al-Hajj is much easier in terms of steps than Salah. But the fact is, all of us, the majority of us, make Hajj once in our life. So it's something very new for many people. I was speaking with someone yesterday and I said, it's literally impossible to commit a major mistake in the steps of Hajj. Why? Because you cannot make Hajj by yourself. You are going with a group. The group will move you from A to B to C to D. So it's very hard. In the day of Arafah, all of the buses and the transportations will take you to Arafah. You cannot go anywhere else. It will be one direction. And this is why I said, don't be worried about the steps of Hajj. It's good to have a reasonable understanding. Most of the groups will go and they have imams. The imams will guide people. I think the main challenge for Al-Hajj is when people have the ability to have their heart in, not their body. They will move your body in the right place. You will go and make tawaf, and after this they will take you to pray to rak'ah. You drink it from the water of Zamzam, go make sa'i between the Safa and the Marwa, tahallul, get out of the state of Umrah if you are making tamattu. Then re-enter the state of Ihram in the 8 days of the Hijjah. Everyone will do that. So it's very much like you are entering a building while there's one entrance and one exit. You cannot have a wrong exit. It's one exit. Al-Hajj is like that. So I wouldn't be concerned about the steps of Al-Hajj, but I will be concerned about my heart being there or not. one of the things I think also some people were asking about, do I have to pay for my wife's Hajj? Do I have to pay for my husband's Hajj? In an ideal life, the husband and wife will go for Hajj together. It's part of their union and to grow spiritually together. This is the ideal positions, and often people try to save to go together. But is it mandatory for one of the spouses to pay for the other? It is not. Can my husband pay for me? Now we have sisters working really hard and making a lot of money. Can my wife pay for me? Your husband can if he wants to. Your wife can if she wants to. But you should not make it like a mandatory for him or her to pay for you. I'm grateful. I'm at Hajj many times, and I remember beautiful stories. And the silly one, by the way, people have obsession with holding this small box of dua when making Hajj, and I always say, don't worry about the book. Make dua. Use your own language. Speak with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the way you feel comfortable with. Allah will hear you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what's in your heart. But once we were making Hajj and I saw this group, obviously they did not have an imam with them. So the leader of the group was holding one of this book. And he was saying, and everyone repeating after him, and said, when you start, your tawaf, the entire group was repeating after him, you have to say, and they are saying, you have to say. I said to the brother, what are you doing? He said, I'm saying the dua. I said to him, you are reading the book. You are not. And one time we were making Hajj, and this young boy came with his grandfather. I always remember him each time I go for tawaf, because in preparation for the tawaf, I said to them, tawaf is literally like a salah. So you have to have khushu' and feel comfortable. If you want to cry, and all of this. I said this to everyone, and I didn't realize that the boy was listening carefully to me. So we're making tawaf. In the middle of the tawaf, literally this young boy starts screaming at his grandfather, my grandpa, hit me hard. The sheikh said we should cry, and I can't cry. And it was very sweet. And one of the sister last year, we were making Hajj last year, and one of the sister came from Beverly Hills. This is a very nice area in America, and people are comfortable. Should be comfortable to live there. We were in a very expensive package with the transportation. Last year was not really good. We ended up walking a lot, and I saw this sister really bleeding. And I said to her, sister, sorry about this. And she said to me, Sheikh, no, we are making Hajj. I'm happy that I'm here and I'm doing this. So I have all of this memory in my mind, and quite astonishing. We were making Hajj. Alhamdulillah, we're blessed to be in a nice camp. And I walked out of the camp a little bit to see people outside under the sun. And it was very hot. This is the month of July. And I watched this lady making dua and crying, sweating. And her dua was, Ya Rabbi, make the day longer. Ya Rabbi, make the day longer. She didn't feel the heat. She didn't feel the 120 degrees. She didn't feel it. She was so attached to the day of Arafah to the point she is asking Allah for more. And I thought she was not conscious about the amount of water coming out of her. So you meet these wonderful people from everywhere. You get the sense of brother and sisterhood. I enjoy speaking with people from different countries about the Muslim community need, the challenges, and what are they doing good, and what is the area of improvement. It's beautiful to see 2 million, sometimes even 3 million, looking the same, all of them seeking forgiveness. It's a wonderful experience. And Hajj, after all, is an invitation from Allah. And if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala invites anyone, you end up going and you become the guest of Allah. And it's an honor. We start saying labbaik Allahumma labbaik. May Allah make it easy for any Muslim having the desire to make Hajj to do it. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from them all. Allahumma ameen.